If you are entering into marriage and you are looking for any way to escape it if it goes south, I guarantee your marriage is not going to go well. Welcome to Reclaiming Dominion. I'm Pastor Andrew Violette, and today I'm going to be reacting to a video put out by Jordan Peterson explaining why even get married.
What case would you make to me for marriage versus, because I'll be honest, I'm wrestling with marriage, not just God.
The general rule of thumb for life is that you should do what other people have done forever unless you have a really good reason not to. Don't deviate from the straight and narrow path. Put firm foundation wherever you can. That'll actually free you up to do more adventurous things.
Yeah, the marriage union is actually a boundary. It actually is like a guardrail, and it keeps us safe. And within the protection of those guardrails, it actually gives us freedom. There's an illusion out there that you can be free when you remove the guardrails and you get to do whatever you want. But the reality is, when you remove the guardrails, you actually end up with chaos, which leads to slavery. And it's actually the opposite of freedom. In the Christian worldview, we understand God's given us laws of nature. He's given us moral laws, because in these laws, they actually protect the freedom that we have. And marriage is no different. Marriage is parameters God's given so that two people, a man and a woman, can enjoy and build a Christian marriage in a way that pleases Him and that is beneficial and blissful for the two people involved.
But the traditional marriage agreement, one that's a legal agreement, Can I not take my partner, have a wedding in front of our friends and family, sign a contract, maybe even do it in a sort of religious context, without having it to be like a legal document that the government are involved in?
Yeah, I've gotten this question before. People are wondering now, with the way marriage has been eroded in our culture, people are starting to question, well, what is even a marriage? Like, can I just, me and my girlfriend, go in our backyard and promise ourselves to each other, and does that count? Well, close, sort of. The example we have in the Bible on marriage goes back to Genesis, where it talks about a man leaving father and mother and cleaving to his wife, and the two becoming one flesh. That's found in Genesis chapter 2. Marriage is about vows. It's about two people expressing their vows, their promises to each other. But it also involves witnesses. You need to have witnesses to those vows. Otherwise, the vows are not legitimate. There's a few other principles that play in here, but simply put, a marriage is a man and a woman coming together, expressing vows in the sight of God, and then continuing to consummate the marriage together, where you separate from your families and you make your own family and you live together. That is marriage in a nutshell. Now, we actually have traditions passed down through the ages of how we can conduct a marriage in a way that pleases God. And this is where a minister comes in, or a servant of God. They officiate the wedding because they bring the blessing of God upon the wedding. Now, lots of people get married today without a minister. They go to a justice of the peace. And those marriages are still valid in God's sight. But if you want your marriage to be blessed by God, it makes sense to go to a minister, to a pastor, to your priest, because when you go to the minister who has been commissioned by the church to do marriages, God actually blesses the holy union of your two coming together. So remember, it's not just a human institution. It's actually, this is a religious institution designed by God, and so we want His blessing. Now, the other reason that it's important to maintain the integrity of the family, of marriage, is because our society is built upon the understanding of what a man is, what a woman is, and when they come together in marriage, it is the foundation for families, and families are the foundation for society. If you erode what it means to get married and for two people to commit to each other for life, you actually erode the bedrock of our society. Now, this has actually been happening for decades now, and maybe for some of us who are in it, we've grown nose blind to it. But this is why we have so many problems today in our culture, because family's been eroded. And family's been eroded because marriage has been redefined to mean, you can get married, two dudes or two ladies get married, or you don't even need marriage at all. Our culture has really eroded marriage. But when we maintain the integrity of marriage and understand the purpose for marriage, which is to have children, then our foundation for society remains intact.
It's often the case that it doesn't prevail, and it's generally the case that it's not sufficient. And so then you might say, well, maybe you want to add a legal element to that, and you want to add a metaphysical element to it, because those are all fortifications. What do I have to put in place to ensure that I'm doing the right thing? Well, when you're embarking on something difficult, like marriage, and you better have everything necessary in place.
Yeah, this is some really good advice here. If you are entering into marriage and you are looking for any way to escape it if it goes south, I guarantee your marriage is not going to go well. It's probably going to fail very quickly. When my wife and I entered marriage, we both had the understanding that divorce was not an option. That was an agreement that we made. We both understood, well, look, when I'm coming into this, I'm 100% committed. There's no way out for me. We took our vows seriously, which say, for better, for worse, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. So we're committed. And when you come into marriage that way, you say, you know what, there is no way out for me except for death. There's no way out. Then all of your energy is spent trying to maintain the blessing on that marriage. You're focusing on making the marriage work. Now, if you think there's a way out, then some of your energy is going to be spent questioning and doubting whether you made the right choice. Or where's the line that you draw before you decide it's time for me to hightail it out of here? It's a recipe for disaster. When you go into marriage and you say, you know what, we are fully in, we're fully committed, then all of your energy is spent together working on whatever problem there is, and you overcome it together. This is essential for marriage. In order for marriage to work, both parties have to be working together to tackle every problem. If the problem is on the man's side, you're both tackling that problem together to fix that problem. If the problem's on the woman's side, you're both tackling that problem to fix it. If the problem's outside of you, or if it's both of you, either way, you're working together to tackle the problem. When we try to make marriage less of a commitment, when we try to make the barrier of entry easier, we actually do a disservice to us, because marriage is not meant to be taken lightly. It is meant to be entered soberly. There should be a fear in our heart, a realization of, for the rest of my life, I am bound to this person. That's a good thing. That commitment is a good thing, and we need that. But that fear is real because we understand that we are entering into something that is serious. A legal document, it just adds to that level of commitment. It's a good thing. It binds us not only in our consciences before God, but it also binds us before man. Well, there you have it. Reasons from Jordan Peterson why it's important to get married.